The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local. Welcome everyone to Buying Local Saratoga. I'm your host, Mike Nelson, here with Samantha Bosshart from Saratoga Springs Preservation Foundation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or me, I should say.
Well, you're representative of a group, right?
Correct.
Is that fair? And
yes.
So why don't you kind of give us a quick rundown of what the foundation does?
The Saratoga Springs Preservation Foundation was founded in 1977, and our mission is to preserve and enhance the architectural and cultural landscape heritage of Saratoga Springs, and we do that through advocacy, education, technical assistance, and restoration.
That sounds like a lot.
We do a lot for a small staffed organization.
Yeah. How many are you?
We are, myself included, two full-time staff and a part-time administrative assistant. Okay,
and I do know that you do a lot of things. So what kind of give us the rundown of all the great work you're doing in town.
One of the biggest things we have going right now which is actually underway for those of you who want to drive by, is our rehabilitation project at 65 Phila Street. That house was endangered and was listed on our endangered list since 1998.
Okay.
And it's been on that list since 1998. And then eventually the owners sought to demolish that building along with the building next door at 69 Phila Street. We opposed that demolition, and we were able to acquire the property 2 years ago. And due to COVID, construction, challenges with availability of contractors and supplies, we really hadn't been able to get the work going until just recently with the break in the spring weather. And so we are actively doing work.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that's actually when I moved into the area, it was either 97 or 98, and I lived right at the corner of Circular and Phila right there.
Oh, so you're familiar with the
property.
property.
Very familiar, yeah. I used to walk by it all the time way back in the day there. And really interesting just following that whole story and reading about, knowing that it was going to be demolished, and then you guys stepped in. I'm not sure that everyone understands, though, like, what is your objective with those properties? Like, what's the end goal?
Well, 65 Phila and 69 Phila both represent a period of time in our history. They were both built in 1851, which is relatively early in the city's development. 65 Phila Street was in the same family, the Alexander A. Patterson family. He actually owned a spring and had a large building for his spring at the corner of Phila and Putnam, where the parking garage is today.
Yes.
And that's where Patterson had a building. So he had a connection to the city's springs and our development of the city. And that family lived in 65 Phila for 90 years. And then it became a Jewish boarding house. And so it sort of is representative of a different time. And, so we felt it was important for that reason. But we also felt it was important to preserve the buildings because the prior owners had essentially did demolition by neglect. And we didn't feel that should be rewarded. And we felt that it was important that the buildings be preserved at the heart of our downtown.
Okay.
And so we own 65 Phila Street. A young couple purchased 69 Phila Street, and they are going to be beginning their rehabilitation project in the near future, and they plan to raise their family there.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So we will have two buildings that have been long neglected, looking beautiful, hopefully by the end of this calendar year.
Yeah. And what will you do with 65?
So our goal is, and we've been fundraising for it, is to help underwrite the cost of the rehabilitation. We have done an environmental abatement. We're doing some structural repairs, and then we're going to do a complete exterior restoration. We are not going to do the interior. That is going to be, we're going to sell the property to somebody that we hope will be a good steward to the home, but allow them the freedom to decide what they want to do on the interior.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to sell it, and hopefully any net proceeds that we make will go into a future preservation project here in the city.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we're excited about it.
Now, has the foundation done projects like this in other parts of the city?
We have. It's been a very long time since we've done one.
Mm-hmm.
We were involved with 117 Grand Avenue. It was the former D&H railroad station.
Yeah.
Most of people would maybe think of it being sort of kitty corner from West Side Stadium.
Okay.
And we also, in the early 80s, one of the row houses on Clinton Street, the number 5, the sidewall was going to collapse, and the city was going to demolish that last one on Clinton Row House in the city. The foundation acquired it from the city for not very much money, perhaps $1. I apologize, I don't have that number right off the top of my head. Right. And we did a similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very
cool.
So
we've done it before. We just haven't done it very often.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not your primary methodology of preserving Saratoga, you would say. No,
but I think when we have an opportunity to step in, we've done other restoration projects. Like one of our most visible ones was the partnership to restore the Spirit of Life and Spencer Trask Memorial in Congress Park, which was a 5-year project and a $750,000 project that we did with the city. And we have helped the First Baptist Church on Washington Street raise funds to restore their most endangered stained glass windows. So those are just more of the more recent like restoration quote projects we've been involved with. But this is the first building that we've owned in some time.
Yeah. And so how does that work with, this is something I always wonder, right? Like, you know, do you guys just kind of sit around waiting for something cool to come along? You know what I mean? Like, how does that happen where all of a sudden you're like, hey, we're going to go help rescue these stained glass windows, or we're going to help rescue this monument, or we're going to rescue this house? Like, how does that work for you?
Well, for example, with the Spirit of Life, many of you may remember it had these very tall white pines that stood as a backdrop to the Spirit of Life. And several concerned citizens came forward with a fear that those trees could possibly, because of their condition, fall on the Spirit of Life and the memorial and do irreparable damage. And so we stepped in and we decided to assess the trees and assess the sculpture and its architectural surround and landscape. And from there, it ballooned into a very large project, but one that's it's been my most gratifying project out of all the things we've done. Although who knows, maybe after 65 Phila, I'll change my mind. But so that was one where, you know, people came to us, again, with First Baptist Church. They're a very small congregation. They reached out to us for some assistance or guidance, I would say. And we decided, you know, we could potentially help them secure a grant, which we did, 2 grants, as well as do some fundraising efforts ourselves. And so we've been a partner with them on that project.
Gotcha. What a great thing that you get to kind of do some of this stuff, right? Like, must be a very fulfilling and rewarding job.
I love my job. I have to say, I love my job. It's different. No day is the same. You know, just this week I was hauling windows out of a building to get them loaded to go to to get restored. To speaking. This week I'll be speaking in a planning board meeting. So, you know, I do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure. What Now, I know that you have an event coming up,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So our largest annual fundraiser is the Historic Homes Tour, and that takes place on Saturday of Mother's Day weekend. And it is an opportunity for people to see the interior of private homes that they otherwise would not be able to see. And this year we have a nice array of houses and a couple of buildings, I guess you would say, to highlight.
Okay. And so Is it a surprise of what buildings are on the list? Or
I could actually share.
Well, and I would ask, like, so, like, how does that happen? Like, is it like, I don't want to spoil it. You tell us. How does it go down?
How does it go down? Well, we try to target an area in the city. So this year we're again focusing at the East Side neighborhood, and we try to identify an area that will be walkable, ideally. And we often are in the enviable position of approaching homeowners to see if they are willing to open their home to benefit our organization and to help underwrite our mission.
Okay. That sounds, you have to be quite brave, I would imagine, to approach strangers and ask them, like, can we come in your, like, is that a comfortable process?
Well, I think oftentimes either somebody on our board or somebody we know, or we may even know the owner, there's a connection there. There have been times when we've asked homeowners that we do not know, and sometimes you just have to be prepared for rejection.
Sure.
But overall, I don't think I've ever had a homeowner that was disappointed or frustrated or not happy they did it. They're a little stressed before the tour because they're thinking of all the things that they want to get done.
Sure.
But they're always sort of happy when they've gotten everything that they've been wanting to do for a long time, but this was the motivation to get it done.
Right,
and it's done right before the summer season. And so people actually ultimately are very happy with it.
Very nice. And does everyone go as a group for the tour, or is it like there's a list and you kind of go through at your leisure? How does that work?
It's the second you have a ticket. We have 3 different starting point tickets where we have different starting points just so not everybody goes to the same house at the same time. And you're encouraged to follow that route. But if you want to go in your own route, we do not... you can do that on your own, and you can do it at your own pace and just take in what you want. Like if some people want to go through the houses slowly and take it all in while other people kind of zip through and just want to peek and move on, you can do it either way.
Okay. And how do you choose the houses or the buildings? Is it architecturally based? Is it historically based?
I would say both. Architecturally, this year's tour, we have a really great diversity of what's being featured. We have some homes that were built in the early 1850s that have actually changed over time, which is pretty common with some of the houses in Saratoga. Then we have some beautiful Queen Anne's, and we have a condo in the Stone Abbey, which is the former church at the corner of Caroline and Circular Street.
Okay.
With it features some beautiful stained glass
what
window.
What a great building that is. I mean, I've driven by it a zillion times.
Yeah, and so this is your opportunity to see one of the condos.
To go in and see like what it looks like inside, because I've always wondered it.
Yes,
it's just...
this is just one condo. In years past, we've had other condos. So this is the first time this condo, during my tenure, which is a bit long, has ever been featured. So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
We have Circular Manor Bed and Breakfast, which is kitty corner or catty corner, depending on what part of the country you're from, which is a beautiful Queen Anne. And a lot of people have always wondered what the guest rooms and what that house looks like from the inside, and several other fantastic houses. That's
awesome. So we should probably tell people where they can find more information, buy tickets, all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. You can buy tickets on our website, which is saratogapreservation.org. You can call our office, which is 518-587-5030. If you buy your tickets before the day of the event, which is Saturday, May 13th, you get a discount. If you're a member or you become a member, you get a discount. The tickets are $35 if you're a member and $45 if you're not a member before the tour. And then the day of the tour, they're $40 and $50 for members and non-members. And if you become a member, you can buy several tickets and get that discount.
Very nice. And so become a member, what does membership look like?
You can join as an individual for as little as $35. And with that, you get discounts to not only this event, but to our summer Sunday strolls, which throughout the summer, we have tours every Sunday of different areas of the city.
Guided tours?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, guided walking tours. We do lots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did know that, but I thought you do a lot. But I didn't know that you did guided tours. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then let's see. You get invitations to members only events if you become a member, as well as you're just helping to support our mission and help us to be a strong voice for preserving what our great community.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you're on social media, I would imagine.
Yes, but one thing I want to say about the house tour is it's a great Mother's Day gift.
Oh.
I haven't met a mom that doesn't like to go through and see some great interiors of some historic
That's
homes.
a really good sell right there, Samantha, because I hadn't thought about that being the day before Mother's Day.
Yeah. And it's a great activity to do with your mom, or buy her a ticket and a friend of hers a ticket and send them on their way.
Very good. Or go with them.
I know. That's also obviously an option. Depends on who you are.
That's right. Or if they even want you to go with them. For
right.
That
I was just giving options. And then we have actually 2 other programs that day. We have a lunch and learn where Charlie Kunzel is going to speak about the history of Madame Jamel.
Charlie's great.
And he's such a great presenter.
Yes,
and we're always so fortunate to have him speak for us. And so he's going to do that presentation at Cafe Lena.
Very nice.
And then we have a breakfast and buildings program with Carol Gadet. And she's going to talk about the history of the headquarters of Death Wish Coffee.
Oh, wow.
Which is a really cool space.
Yeah.
It was... has a really interesting history, and I would encourage people to check that out. But we serve breakfast and lunch with both of those programs, and so, but those have limited capacity. So if people are interested,
all right,
they better check it out soon.
Get while the getting's good, right?
That's right.
I feel like I missed something. Did we miss something? You've got the 13th.
We've got that.
All the great stuff that you do around the community.
We got that.
I'm now super excited to know that you do guided tours, because I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and we couldn't do the house tour or we do our summer Sunday strolls every Sunday at 10 a.m. And like I said, we do a different neighborhood each Sunday.
Okay, and rain or shine, or
typically, unless it's like a downpour where there's lightning, we will not be doing a tour then.
Okay.
But we do them from our tour. First tour is Sunday, June 11th, and it will run through Labor Day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're listening to this, make sure you get tickets, or even better, sign up for a membership.
Do both.
Or do both. That's right. And you can always find us at SaratogaBusinessReport.com and SaratogaToday.com in the podcast section. And thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
The superpower that every citizen has is the ability to control where they spend their time, money, and attention. By focusing these on supporting local businesses, you are having a profound impact on your friends, your family, and your local community. So if you want to change the world, you can start with buying local.